All right, so I haven't done any of these in a minute for a couple of reasons. Number one, I've been busy, a lot of shit going on, just really haven't been in the mood, stuff like that. Number two, there really hasn't been like an overabundance of fights that are really catching my eye to the point where I'm like, oh shit, I'm pumped about this one. There's been a couple, maybe one or two that I would have made videos on, but this one, there's a couple of reasons why I'm addressing this. So, I've told you guys before I have covered some Jake Paul fights. It depends usually on like who he's fighting or what's going on or whatever the case is. He was somebody that in the very beginning, I supported what he did. Well, maybe I shouldn't use the word supported because I didn't buy his fights, but I supported what he did mentally. Like I was on board with what he was doing because he wasn't a boxer. He didn't have an amateur career, and he didn't fight his way through the ranks. So to me, if you're a random YouTuber and a random basketball player says he could beat you up and you fight him and you beat him up, that's fair, right? After that, we realized, okay, this kid could fight a little better than, maybe some random celebrities. So let's put him in there with somebody else that fights. Then he fought a wrestler, right? Then it was another UFC guy. Then it was an old guy. Then it just got to the point where after years of this shit, I was like, one of two things has to happen, bro. Either you have to start fighting boxers, or you have to stop talking like you want to fight boxers. You're calling out Canelo, you're calling out this one, you're saying you want to win a world title and stuff like that. And then you turning around and you're fighting nonsense fights. And he was going to fight Tank Davis, which I was, not only am I not interested in that fight, and not only was I not going to make a video on that fight at all, but anytime I saw anything about it, I immediately clicked not interested. Like, I'm not playing that game anymore. Here's where I have an issue. And I'm not saying I disagree. I just want to be clear. Every time this guy fights, there's different nonsense spewed. Oh, he sucks. He's going to get killed. Oh, that fight was fixed. Oh, this guy let him knock him out. Oh, he's this. Right? There's always something. Oh, the Mike Tyson fight was fixed. Are you guys fucking serious, bro? I actually literally, I have a hard time wrapping my head around the fact that a human being with two working eyes could sit there and watch that event and not understand that Mike Tyson was like a senior citizen. Oh, the fight was fixed. Mike could have done this. Mike couldn't have done shit, bro, because Mike's like 60 fucking years old, and he couldn't have done shit. I'm really not sure that Mike Tyson would be able to beat me in a fight at this point. Not because Mike Tyson's a pussy or he can't fight, because he's almost 60 years old, and clearly, from watching that fight, he can't fight for more than a round or so. He can't move very well. And I'm not saying this to try to critique Tyson. I think Tyson's an all-time great. I think he's overhyped as far as the way people put him. He's my favorite fighter of all time, but just because he's my favorite fighter of all time doesn't mean that I think he's the greatest fighter of all time. So I do think Tyson is a little overhyped as far as like what he's accomplished and stuff like that. But I mean, when you're decimating everybody in a minute, you generate this aura about you, right? So it is what it is. Again, my favorite fighter, stuff like that. But to sit around on your fucking couch in your life where you've never really accomplished shit, especially not athletically or in sports, and turn around and say that an all-time legend like Mike Tyson is throwing fights? Come on, bro. You don't think this guy has anything else he could do for money? You don't think he makes money off his podcast? You don't think he makes money off of his cannabis strain? You don't think he makes money off of just cameo appearances off his name alone and shit like that? Are you kidding me? You think Mike Tyson has to throw a fucking fight and tarnish his legacy in order to get some money? I mean, honestly, it really is strange to me, the shit that people cook up. And it's like, it's so obvious that this doesn't make any sense that I don't even understand how you're not embarrassed to say that this is what you believe. But I'm not here to talk about Mike Tyson. I'm here to talk about Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. So let's move past that circus act that I really wish didn't happen, and let's talk about Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. Listen, I'm not going to give you guys a fight breakdown on this because we don't have two elite tier athletes here. We just don't. Listen, Jake Paul might be an elite tier athlete in the sense that the kid picked up boxing at 20-something years old, never had an amateur career, and is, you know, knocking out other professional athletes, putting up good fights against established fighters like Tommy Fury or whatever that guy's other name was, Austin something or something Austin or whatever. Again, these guys are not fucking murderous fighters like that, you know, are going to decimate him in 30 seconds or anything like that. Tyson was in his prime. He's not anymore at 60 years old. But the point of what I'm trying to say is that Jake Paul obviously has some fight skills and some athletic skills to the point that he can at least make, when he loses, competitive, right? Like the fight with Tommy Fury was competitive. Tommy Fury is nothing special, so the fact that you weren't able to beat Tommy Fury makes me question what makes you think you're going to beat Anthony Joshua. But I think Jake Paul has a puncher's chance. I think he's a big puncher, and I don't think Anthony Joshua has a great chin. I don't think Anthony Joshua has no heart. He's not a Victor Ortiz or anything like that. But I think Joshua's heart is a little bit questionable, and I think his chin is questionable as well. So does Jake have a chance? Yeah, he's got a chance. Here's my main issue with everything, and this is the real reason why I came on here and made a video about this. It wasn't about a fight breakdown because, quite frankly, I think Anthony Joshua is going to win the fight unless Jake Paul lands a lucky punch. I don't think that they're on the same level skill-wise, experience-wise, or anything like that. Do I think it's an automatic fix if Jake Paul wins? No, I don't. I'm not going to disrespect another tremendous athlete like Anthony Joshua and turn around and say that this guy's going to take a fall for money, because I just don't believe that you get this far in your career and you accomplish this much stuff by simply being willing to throw fights for money and shit like that. I think a lot of these guys have a lot more pride and shit than that. So, you know, to sit down on your couch and tell well-accomplished professional athletes that they're throwing fights and they suck, it's laughable, to say the least, to keep it polite. But again, here's my main issue with everything, right? You fight Nate Robinson, oh, you beat up a basketball player. You fight Ben Askren, oh, you beat up a wrestler. You fight Tyron Woodley, oh, you beat up an MMA fighter. You knock out Tyron Woodley, oh, it was fake. He was paid off. You knock out a boxer, or a real boxer beats you, and it's, oh, see? I mean, real boxers beat other real boxers all the time. So for a real boxer, an undefeated real boxer, a Fury, to win a close match over a YouTuber, I don't know. That doesn't feel like a great moral victory to me. I feel like, you know, if anybody got a moral victory out of that, it was Jake for knocking down an undefeated fighter. And again, this isn't me trying to ride Jake's coattails. I've been very, very critical of him the past couple of years and calling him a clown and saying that he's going the wrong routes and shit like that. But anyway, every time he fights somebody, it's some nonsense. He shouldn't have fought this guy. He shouldn't have did this. This was paid off. This guy threw the fight. This is fake. This is that. It's always nonsense, right? Now this guy turns around and is fighting a heavyweight champion, a legitimate boxer, a guy that has had a good amateur career, a guy that has had a good professional career, a guy that is, you know, more than one-time champion, a guy that has been a unified champion, okay? And now it's a different problem, right? So I don't understand what Jake Paul is supposed to do. And again, this video is not to defend Jake Paul, because I've been very critical of Jake Paul, but what I'm trying to say is you guys keep bashing him, saying he's not fighting good people, and then he turns around and takes a fight with a fucking heavyweight champion, and now you guys are saying a bunch of other nonsense. So I just don't really understand what it is that you want him to do at this point, right? Like, if he goes and fights a top guy, you're going to say some garbage. If he goes and fights somebody that sucks, you're going to say some garbage. If he wins a big fight, you're going to say it was fixed. I don't know why anyone is entertaining any of this at this point, right? If you guys really think it's fixed, Why are you following Jake Paul? Why are you commenting on Jake Paul's posts? Why are you not clicking I'm not interested in this when Jake Paul shit pops up? Because when Jake Paul was going to fight Gervonta Davis, I just clicked I'm not interested in this every time it came up in my newsfeed or every time somebody brought it up to me. I'm literally not entertaining that. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage, and I'm not entertaining it. If what's going on is garbage and it's fake, why are you entertaining it? Don't watch it. Don't talk about it. Don't put money in Jake Paul's pockets. It's as simple as that. So, listen, as far as a breakdown and a prediction go, I think Anthony Joshua is going to win the fight. I think Anthony Joshua should probably win the fight relatively easily. I think he'll get a stoppage. Do I think he's going to necessarily knock Jake Paul out cold? Not really. You also have to understand too, when you're this much of a favorite, right? Anthony Joshua's got everything to lose, bro. So you don't want to go out there overestimating yourself or underestimating your opponent and wind up having a YouTuber knock you unconscious, right? You don't want to do that. So I do think there is a possibility that Anthony Joshua has a little bit of a mental thing going on where he doesn't want to push too hard and lose, but he doesn't want to lay back and let this YouTuber be too competitive. But again, at the end of the day, man, I just think the pedigree is different. I think their upbringing was different. I think, an amateur background and X amount of fights and the people, the experience, the people that you've been in there with. Like, Jake's got more experience than somebody who's never fought professionally, but how many professional boxers has he fought against? Only 2, I believe. So, his real experience on that level is almost 0. So, listen, man, at the end of the day, I got Anthony Joshua stopping Jake Paul. Do I think it's a fix if Jake Paul wins the fight? I don't. I think 2 guys are going to go in there and fight. I think the better man, which is Anthony Joshua, is probably going to wind up winning. But if it doesn't go that way, it doesn't go that way, and it is what it is. So, I just don't know what you guys want the kid to do at this point, because if he fights a scrub, you say garbage, and then if he fights a fucking heavyweight champ, you say more garbage. So, I don't know. Make up your mind, people. Anthony Joshua, stoppage. Peace.